Yep.
Hey, everybody. We're just coming on live. Let's go ahead and talk to him for a minute while I get this thing set up.
All right.
Captain Rickster.
All righty.
I want to set up this shot better.
Yep. Hey, everybody. How we doing out there? Hope you're having a great weekend. Because I know we have. We had a great time at Disneyland. Now we're back here to do our live podcast back in our studio. So we're going to enjoy this also. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's happened through the week. And we're going to talk about Picard, right? Yep. So we're going to be doing that also. But hope you people out there in Facebook and also on YouTube are having a great weekend. Please write to us and let us know how things are going. See especially the effect of the sounds, and see if we're clear enough for you guys to see what's going. So we can fix it because we haven't been doing this for a while. So
yeah, we're just trying to get better and better.
We're just trying to get better and better all the time. So
I mean, that's our obvious goal.
Yeah.
Trying to set up the lighting better.
So we're working on it as best we can. It's just him doing it. So, what can I say? I'm useless at doing what he's doing. So
don't say that.
Well, I am because
you try, bro.
I just don't try. I don't know how to do it.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's why I let an expert do this thing, not me. I'd screw the whole thing up. We'd all be upside down right at the moment.
Yeah. That's okay.
I probably have the wrong date and everything else in the wrong year. Oh, wait a minute. No, you do that.
Yeah, so true.
Oh, yes.
We're waiting for people to come on board here.
I'm waiting to see who comes up so I can, say hi to them and stuff like that.
Why don't you look on your phone and see if you got anybody? If we have anybody
that's what I'm going to do.
We're waiting for people. We had a great time today at
Disneyland. Yeah. Yes, we did. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Here we go. I don't want to start a video. We already have it going.
Oh, it's going already.
Yeah, well, how I don't know how to work these stupid things.
Hey, everybody! I'm just getting this thing set up so we can start recording.
Yes.
Get back to our podcast, our normal podcast.
Yes. Oh well.
He can't even open his phone. He's so nervous.
I don't ever do this, so.
You don't open up your phone and look at people on the internet?
No.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Can't even find myself on this thing.
Huh.
Jeez. I know Rick's here somewhere.
Yep. Okay, let's just go. Let's just do our show.
Yeah, let's do the show. Okay. Heck with this thing.
I'll go ahead and do it, guys, since he can't seem to figure it out. He can't even open up a cell phone or look at himself.
No.
I don't know if I don't see any comments. Actually, no one's made a comment anyway, so
you're not yet.
You're okay. Let's let everybody know we're live now.
Yeah, I got him on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what we're on right now.
We got.
Hey, Mr. Steve Spoltor, you just showed up. Hey, guys.
Yes, he did.
Okay, he's already shared us. Yes, okay, guys.
And so has Dante's on now.
Okay, great. Okay, guys.
Hey, I'm here. Good. I'm glad you're here.
We're back in the studio, everybody. How's the sound?
Yes, really. How is the sound? Let us know.
Yeah, so
if we're talking too loud or we're not talking loud enough, just let us know.
Right. For sure. Okay.
Sounds good. Steve Spoltar, both of them say it sounds great.
Okay, yeah.
Good. So
it's better to do this like in a setting like this where we guys could just be relaxed and sound good and try to get the picture quality good, everything good, and record it. So, later we could also have it as an audio podcast as well for people that like to listen to audio podcasts.
That's definitely true.
That's really that's part of the whole purpose of podcasts as well.
That's right.
Be able to sit and listen and enjoy it. And
we don't have to worry about having kids behind us making faces every time we do
that's true as well.
Too, so,
that is absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
So
last two times we did it at Disneyland, we had kids making noise and we had them trying to do faces.
That's true.
All that stuff. So.
That's true. We had a bunch of just brats.
But a couple of them did recognize who we were too. They talked about our show.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, people are starting to notice, which is nice. It's a nice thing. So, just trying to fix the shot a little bit, guys. Here,
Yeah.
So it's not too bright, and we look okay. It's looking pretty good. So we're almost set up here.
He's
So
gonna be in the light, and I'll be in the dark. As
no,
usual.
you're in the light, bro. I see you perfectly. The problem is I'm more of a white boy than you. Is what the issue
Oh,
is.
that's
You're
definitely
darker skinned to me. That's
definitely
why
true.
you don't put on lotion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We just. Oh my goodness, Captain Rickster. We just talked about that.
Yes, we
Jesus.
did. Maybe I should put some white makeup on. You can see me better.
Yeah, so maybe you could become more of a white boy like me.
No, I don't think like a white boy. I'd rather be who I am.
Hey, there you go.
That's right.
That is a true statement. It's better to be who you are.
That's definitely true.
So hello everybody. We're back. We're back from Disneyland.
Yes, we are.
We're in our studio. We're going to go ahead and do a podcast, and we're going to discuss the first 2 episodes of Picard, episode 1 and 2. So we're going to talk a little bit more today because we got 2 episodes that we need to cover. We're going to talk about the fun we had today, and also,
thanks,
also sci-fi news. We're going to talk about that as well. And
Yeah.
also, we had a new winner today. It was Allison Whitaker who won the live trivia game.
That's definitely
And congratulations, Allison. We're happy that we had a new winner. If we could get a new winner every week, that'd be great.
true. Yes, we get more people to subscribe to us when we are live at Disneyland. It'd be even better too. But in time, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
no,
you
that's
know.
okay. Okay, so we do have a few people that are already on here watching this live stream, and I think we're about ready to go ahead and
Start this thing. I mean, really get going.
yeah. Well, I think we got people on board now. So where's my thing to get it started?
All right.
Dante.
Dante says, my friend has this mic for clothes. I'll find out what it is and let you know, or just get it for you.
Mike for what, Dante?
Looks like clothes. You know, those clothes mic, you clip them onto you and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, that ours broke. We have another one now.
But he didn't bring that one, unfortunately.
Well, I can't.
Luckily, I had one in my bag. So
Yeah. Well,
what can I say?
I put that one in your bag, but that's
I know,
okay.
but that's all right. At least we were prepared to have one.
Yeah, we always have a backup microphone.
That's definitely true. Just
we
case
did.
Someone forgets something.
Yeah. It's not that I forgot it. It's just it was broken. So.
Oh, this one's broken. The other one's not.
The other one's not. Correct. Oh. I forgot to do the backup one. Is what it is.
That's
okay.
Right. Drink up. Put the alcohol away. This is a kid show. Jeez.
You're the one making the references, Captain Rickster, not me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, wow.
Well, yeah. Well, at least I'm not having a bottle of something here, drinking something, Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Like it's alcohol. Hey, buddy, I'm drinking alcohol. What's up?
Yeah, you're doing that really good.
Oh, man, you crack me up.
Yeah, that's what I try not to.
You try not to, yeah. We will get this set up better. Today, we had a little bit of traffic again, but it's a work in progress. And we wanted to get back so that we could go ahead and start with you lovely folks.
That's true.
And it's harder to see. You got that up, right? So you can see people's comments.
I got people. I see people's comments and stuff.
Yeah, it's because I'm on the. It's up on the Mac in front of us. Let me bring it up so I can see it too.
It is.
Hold on, guys. Let me also invite people. I know, Steve, you said you shared.
Right.
But let me go ahead and share everywhere else too, real quick. We are live recording
Hey, Steve and Dante, are you both having a great weekend? Are you ready for the Super Bowl, which is tomorrow?
Yo, yeah.
Got to watch that, man. The 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who's you guys' pick? Who to win?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, yes. It's going to be the best of the century.
You think it's going to be high? You think it's going to be high scoring, guys? The Super Bowl tomorrow?
Yeah, let us know. Of course, it's not science fiction, but something we can talk about. Of course, maybe you're not football fans. Who knows?
Yeah. No, everybody. A lot of people are. Actually, Dante's not a football fan.
What, Dante? Oh, come on. He must be a basketball fan.
He's I think Dante, you told me you were like a hockey fan. I think he told me.
Oh, okay. So you don't know nothing about American football.
Well, he knows about hockey.
Oh, good. I wish I was there to help eat some of your food since you got a lot of food there. Don't call me the human garbage disposal.
Who has a lot of food?
Steve Spoltor does. Yes, we have friends. Yes, we have friends and family coming over, preparing lots of food. Well, geez, why don't you mail me some?
Mail you some. He lives in like New Mexico, Albuquerque, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get the podcast started, guys. We don't need to wait for everybody. I hear. I just did the thing I yelled at Captain Fixter for doing earlier.
Yeah. Keep my loudspeaker on so I can hear everything. What's he do? The same thing. he don't practice what he preaches sometimes.
Well, that's true. Hey guys, you see my you see here? I got the Mando here.
Oh,
right
I
there.
see. You know a lot about hockey. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you know a lot about hockey. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know a lot about football though.
Also, guys, I've been working on the show, the Mandalorian theme that's been done. His name is Ludwig. I forgot the guy's last name, but the actual theme song for the Mandalorian, I've been actually working on. I'm doing my own version of it, which I should have done soon. I might go do a live podcast later and let you guys be a part of watch me actually doing it. So that would be kind of cool. That's not related to what we're talking about.
That's true. But yeah, it is. Well, actually it is because Mandalorian's science fiction like everything.
Well, the Mandalorian, it is actually, you're right. Yeah. The Mandalorian is a sci-fi show. So that is a correct statement.
That's true.
That's true. So let's go ahead and talk about real quick. Let me bring this up. 1 second, guys. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the show, and that way we could record it like we normally record it.
Yes.
So.
Okay, that sounds good. Dante says, sounds like a plan, bro. I am down to watch you do your mix.
Yeah, no, I think I want to include you guys in the process.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah, so I think that would be kind of cool. I'm doing a different take on it. It's my version of it. I'm really digging it, though. I'm digging the way it was composed because I'm a composer as well.
That's true.
So I'm really digging the way he composed it. It's kind of unusual, and maybe that's why we remember it. It follows a different type of way of composing, actually. So.
Right.
Okay, let's go ahead and get this started. So here we go, guys. We're going live. Oh, wait. Oh.
Maybe.
It's trying to locate it.
I can't find it. It's been a while since we've done this here at home. So
here we go. The following presentation is part of the All for Sci-Fi Podcast Network. Turn it down. It's a little loud. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
If you only knew the power of the dark.
If you only knew the power.
One never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you, Jim.
No.
No, I am your father. No, you're not. I'll be back.
You keep saying that all the
Hey,
time.
motherfucker.
You keep saying that too.
It's a trap.
The needs of the many outweigh
The needs of the few.
for the one.
Do or do not.
Do not. There is no trap.
To infinity and beyond.
Beyond what?
Just trying to fix the camera, decide which one's better. That one, that looks good.
Yeah, that one's good.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Doc.
Are you trying to
Are
build?
you telling me you built a time machine? Out of the DeLorean?
Yes.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
I think so.
Bye.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that.
I see dead people.
So
I
what?
see dead people.
And I have seen dead people.
I'll bet you do.
So
Why so serious? Come on, guys.
I volunteer! I volunteer!
I
I volunteer
volunteer.
as tribute.
What I do is not up to you.
Oh, it isn't? Sure. We are home. Yes.
The force is with me. I'm one with the force, and the force is with me.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me here at All for Sci-Fi. Hey, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Walker, and sitting next to me
It's
is...
Captain Rickster. How we doing, everybody out
Welcome,
there?
welcome to the show. Today is Saturday, February 1st. Wow, we're in February, Captain Rickster.
Oh, yes. What happened to January?
Don't know. I don't know.
January left us without even a blink of an eye.
It went by so fast.
I know.
And we're very happy to be back. This is our third podcast already for this year. We've been pretty busy. We've been lacking a little bit on these podcasts. We do apologize, but we're going to try to come back every week at 3 o'clock every Saturday after we do our live trivia game, which you guys have been participating in as well.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been great. Doing the live trivia game from Galaxy's Edge, and it's felt good to give gifts every week for the one, and we've given out 4 gifts so far. It's been great. So don't forget that if you're watching this video for the first time, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe to this channel because we're doing this podcast when we have new stuff to discuss. Like today's podcast is about Star Trek Picard. We're going to talk about episode 1 and 2, but we also do every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. Eastern and 12 o'clock to 2 Central. We're live for 2 hours at Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge. Today we were at California Adventure for the All for Sci-Fi live trivia game. It is live, and all you have to do is watch the podcast and answer. Listen for clues and then answer the question correctly. It's not who answers first; it's the first 5 correct answers on our screen. Then we'll put your name in a hat. If you're lucky. Like today's winner was Allison Whitaker. So congratulations, Allison. You won. Today's gift was Chance Cubes, which are right here, the Chance Cubes.
Yep.
And also a Disney cast member at Disneyland gave this beautiful Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This is a pin.
Yes, it is.
And it's a Millennium Falcon pin. So Allison, you got the Chance Cubes and the pin. They're on their way. And also want to congratulate Bob Otting from last week, who won the Servo Droid. And the first 2 weeks, Dante, who might be watching this podcast, won the Sabak cards, and he won the Hans dice. So We've given away 4 gifts. We're excited about it. But we're excited to be back on our podcast.
That's right. In our own little studio.
In our little home studio, and we try our best. We're going to work out this lighting thing. Captain Rickster doesn't like it. He says it's too bright.
It blinds me.
But I think it's better. I think you guys would be able to see us better. So you guys let us know what you think. Dante, coming back to YouTube, Dante is saying Raven's birthday month. So his daughter, happy birthday, Raven, from the OM, the original Maze. If you want to call me uncle, that's great too, because your father and I are good friends. So happy birthday, Raven.
That's true.
So let's go ahead and first of all, let's go ahead and we haven't done this in a while, Captain Rickster, but let's talk about sci-fi news.
Oh, yes.
As you could tell, my enthusiasm's through the roof. I'm excited to be back in the studio. I probably sound like it, but I just am. Okay, guys, no need to worry. I know people have been freaking out for the past 2 weeks about the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. Is it on? Is it off? Is it on? Is it off?
It's like all over the place right at the moment.
Well,
There's no definite date
inside word is, don't worry, it's on. They had some issues with scheduling, and also they wanted to tighten up the script. From what I understand, this is coming from inside information. So don't worry about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's on. And I think everybody was freaking out, Captain Rickster, but I think that even Ewan McGregor came online and finally posted something here recently about it.
Yeah, so I heard.
So I know everybody was just freaking out about that, but don't worry, we're gonna get our Obi-Wan Kenobi series next year. We're gonna get our Cassian Andor series from Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. This month also, since it's February, we get the Clone Wars. So there's a lot going on, man. There's just a lot of tremendous things going on sci-fi wise, for sure. Not only that, but if you go to our website, all4sci-fi.com, we have just put up all the sci-fi movies we put up a 2020 guide.
Yes, we did.
So we put up a 2020 film guide for all the sci-fi projects coming out this year. So if you guys want to know what's coming up, there's a lot coming out this year. And right smack at the end of the year, Captain Rickster, is Dune.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's going to be a good movie.
Oh, so we're going to end the year great.
Yes, we are.
So what's been going on in the world of Captain Rickster? Talk for a second.
Well, not much. Just trying to get my life put back together. And with his help over here, we're having a lot of fun doing it. And
yeah,
it's so far it's pretty good. I'm doing great. I'm healthy. I'm maybe sometimes a little tired, but that's because when you get a little older, things change a lot. So
that's true. That's true. And thank you, everybody. I know today's February 1st. Thank you, everybody, for your birthday wishes for my birthday yesterday. From the bottom of my heart, it felt really warm and fuzzy. And thank you. And I saw that somebody had actually took the time, who's a little artist, an upcoming artist, took the time to do a personal happy birthday card and drew Mace. Yes. It's on my Facebook page. If you're friends with me, you could probably see it, but it just, it was great. Thank you very much for that. And all the birthday wishes. So
he's in the big 5-0 club now.
Well, some people think I'm 5 if you want to reverse the numbers.
Well, yeah, we know you're 5.
Yes.
Because you do act like a child sometimes.
Well, that's true. That's true. And I love my toys too.
That's definitely true.
So there's just lots of stuff coming out. I know there's a lot of merchandise coming out. There's some new Funko Pops. What excited me was I saw the Funko Pop that's coming out. I'm not so gung-ho for the Funko Pops after what I heard happened with those videos, and some people are boycotting them, but the Blurg.
Yeah, the Blurg's coming out.
There is a Funko Pop coming out with them on a Blurg, which is exciting to me because the Blurg comes from our movies.
That's right.
The Ewok movies.
And also coming from the Mandalorian too.
Yep, that's for sure. And so there's a lot. Those Funko Pops are coming out. And then I saw, did you see the new life-size Yoda?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh my goodness, from Sideshow. That's not coming out. I mean, I'm disappointed that it's not coming out until either August to October. That's a long wait, and it's expensive. It's like $350.
Yeah.
But it's a life-size. It's actually like a baby. It's 16 and a half inches, that baby Yoda, and it just looks, look for it. It's on the Sideshow website. So yeah, just lots of great stuff coming out this year. We're going to also need to make an announcement that we're going to be we're going to walk the Simi Valley Comic Con on the 9th.
Right.
On Sunday the 9th. We're going to be walking around, and there's Herb Jefferson's going to be there from Battlestar Galactica. Jim who does a lot of the voices, The Simpsons, and he also does Hondo Ohnaka.
Right.
He's going to be there. Jim Cummings. Just a lot of people there. So that's going to be fun. So we're going to be another announcement. We're going to be do a live walkthrough and talk with the people at the Simi Valley Comic Con. It's a local toy expo show here, so it's not a big deal, but that's part of what we want to do. Captain Rickster and I talked about.
True, yes.
We want to cover even the small toy shows
That's right.
for everybody. So we got that coming up February 9th. And we got a busy month. And at the end of the month,
Yes.
we're going to be in Pensacon in Florida.
Yes.
So we're going to be traveling all the way to Florida. And also, in case you're wondering, on our website, allforsci-fi.com, if you go there, there's an events and conventions page. And
Right.
I listed all the events we're going to be at so far this year. There's
That's
a few we still got to add.
That too, yes.
But if you want to go there and look at what we're doing this year, we're going to be in Germany actually as well. We're going to be in Germany in May at Power of the Force Con, which is another big Star Wars convention in Germany
Right.
at the beginning of May. So we're everywhere. There's all for sci-fi is going global.
Everywhere for the first 6 months. We haven't said what we're gonna do the next 6 months after that. But it will be posted, and we'll let you know what's going to be going down.
Yep.
Also we have one in March too.
Which we do.
Which we come back.
Another small mom and pop convention, the San Fernando Valley Comic Con. We will be in, which is in Santa Clarita here. That's going to be March 22nd, right?
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
And Dominic Pace from The Mandalorian is going to be there. So it's going to be a great show too.
Anybody who's watching our show who lives in the area would be welcome to come out.
And to the San Fernando Valley Comic Con, that's going to be in Santa Clarita on March 22nd. Also, the Simi Valley Comic Con is in Simi Valley too.
Yeah,
so which is next week, next weekend.
Come on out.
Come on out to both of them.
Yeah, because you never know what you're going to find or who you'll see.
That's right. And Captain Rickster, we're sporting what?
Oh, our new hats and the new logo.
With our new logo.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to have lots of allforsci-fi.com merchandise coming out, but this is our new official logo.
Yep.
It was done by Dave Staggs. Thank you, Dave, for doing it.
Yes, Dave. Thank you.
And if you look at it, it has the cityscape here is Black Spire Outpost.
Yep.
So the cityscape is Black Spire Outpost on Batu. It says in Arabic below it, it says allforsci-fi.com, and below it says allforsci-fi.com. And above the Black Spire Outpost is the Millennium Falcon right there.
Right.
And to the right of it, well, you're right, but it's really the left, is the Death Star, the second one from the second movie. It has a Death Star on it.
Yeah.
And it also has, on this, it's looks like a blue dot, but it has the Forest Moon of Endor next to the Death Star. Yes. So it looks great. So thank you, Dave, for doing that. So not only hats like this, but we're also going to have T-shirts that are going to be available on the website. The T-shirts will probably be available in the next few weeks.
Yes.
The hats I will put up next week if you want to order a hat. So we're going to make them a reasonable price. We're not trying to make a bunch of money, but we need to. And if we have extra money, all that's going to do is give us more money to give back to the community, because we're doing this for the love of doing it. So we'll be able to go to more events and stuff. And we also have a Patreon account as well that's set up, and that's going to be up on the website. So if anybody wants to help and donate a certain amount of money every month, even if it's $1 a month, you could join our Patreon account, and we're going to have exclusive footage just for Patreon supporters as well. So we're setting that up as well. That's about it for the announcements and news.
Really?
We had a lot to say today.
I thought we had a little more news than that.
What else was there?
Well, Gretel and Hans, it's a sci-fi. We haven't seen the movie yet, but I know it's a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, that's coming out. Yeah. But what else sci-fi news? What are they making? We're talking the news right now. What else?
News, what are they making? Are they supposed to be making Discovery? Star Trek Discovery?
Well, that's a big problem. We're talking about Star Trek Picard today, right? The new Picard series, but what's going on with Star Trek Discovery, guys?
Yeah, it should have been out already.
It should have been out. It was out last year on the 17th.
Yep.
I know you guys want to give it a little breathing room so that people can watch Picard, but we want Star Trek Discovery too, guys.
Yeah, really, because you guys promised us you guys are going to put it out the week before Picard was supposed to come out.
And we also didn't talk about the elephant in the room, which is not me or Captain Richter, but it's what we do for Disney, and I'm pretty upset at Disney right
Oh,
now.
no kidding.
And what I'm upset about is that Rise of the Resistance ride. Their poor planning on how they handle that is just ridiculous. How they handle the app, how it crashes, how you can't get on it. We were there today. This is the third week in a row. We showed up. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. This week, though, like the first 2 weeks, we are actually inside the park, and we just got later boarding groups.
Right.
We got boarding group 133. We got boarding group 82. And we had to leave, but that boarding group did get called. If we would have stayed till 6 o'clock at night, but that's ridiculous to stay there till that's 12 hours.
Yeah, too long.
So, but this week we were at the gate when it opened,
and it wouldn't let.
And even though we're standing at the gate, it wouldn't allow us. It kept saying, "Take these people off the list. They're not in the park," because it could tell you're not in the park.
Right. Yeah.
And when I it took us
2 steps in.
2 minutes to get inside the park. So, and then we got in the park, it started to act like it was going to let me join a boarding group because I was finally 2 steps in, and it said it was all taken.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks in a row, Disney, that is,
really terrible.
I was saying a lot of bad things earlier today.
And we meant it.
And I meant it.
We meant it.
You guys have got it. You at media guest relations, you need to get it together, Disney. There's been too much complaints, even online, about everything. I heard other people saying that the app wasn't working properly, and that's just because there's too many people on it. Probably it's not necessarily, but they need to fix the app if it's having issues,
or it's crashed.
Right, and people need. This is we live local and we go every week, so we know we're going to get on the ride.
Eventually,
we rode it already one other time when it opened in Florida.
That was great.
But guys, come on, man! 3 weeks in a row.
And a different system that they used there.
Well, we had a pass there, so there was we had a media pass. There's a very big difference here. They didn't have enough media days or passes.
No,
I tried to get us on the media day.
I know, yeah.
And I blame myself because I waited too long to contact them, so that's my fault.
Right.
But you should have had more media days. Actually, you should have had more media days for the press out here. So that we could have brought it to you guys and shown you it.
Right.
So
not just one day. It should be in 2 or 3 days at least.
For sure. Okay, so that's it about the news.
Yep.
So guys, it's exciting to talk about anything sci-fi. We're big. I'm a big Star Wars fan. But
yep, he is.
But what a lot of people don't realize is I've always been a big Star Trek fan.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, he has been.
And I watch it all the time, even the reruns. He's a witness to it.
That's true.
When I'm not watching Star Wars, I'm watching Star Trek.
That's true.
Or something else sci-fi. That's why I came up with all stuff for sci-fi.com.
Mm-hmm.
But this new Picard series, we've gotten 2 episodes. The first one was premiered already, and then this last Thursday, we got the second episode, which was called Maps and Legends.
Mm-hmm.
When the first episode was called Remembrances, or
Remembrance.
Remembrance. Okay.
Yes.
So
and that was the pilot for the show.
Yes. And before we get into any spoilers, I want to warn everybody, if you haven't seen Star Trek Picard, when we get into the spoilers, you guys could go ahead and pause the video and come back later. But before we do that, let's just do a general overview. Talk a little bit about the cast and not get into any spoilers. And we're going to go ahead and give the rating, our All for Sci-Fi rating for the first 2 episodes. And then we'll go ahead and do a discussion and recap and do a breakdown of the 2 episodes. Okay, sound fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so the 2 let's start with the first episode. Episode 1, the premiere episode, which was a week ago from last Thursday. Great, very solid start.
Oh yes,
very solid. Had some. It was different in certain ways the way it was shot.
Right.
So there were some different styles in the terms of the filmmaking, but I liked it because it was more modern.
Yes, it was,
and I like that part of it. But Jean-Luc Picard reminded me still of Jean-Luc Picard.
That's true. it had a solid
Yeah.
script too.
Yeah, the script was good.
Yes.
What else? This filmmaking was great.
Yep.
The acting was good. I enjoyed all the characters that were there. We got a brand new character.
Yep.
That's we find. I don't want to get any spoilers, but it's played by Issa Barones, and
Yep.
she's doing a fabulous job
Of course.
playing the part of Sochi and Daj.
Mm-hmm.
And we got just a bunch of great characters so far. And Michelle Hurd didn't pop up in the first one, but she was in the second episode.
Right.
But let's go ahead and give the rating for episode 1 of Picard. At All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating of 0 to 5 stars, 5 being the best. We'll give 5 stars. We don't give them out loosely.
No.
Only
Only when they're needed.
only when they deserve it. And last year we gave The Mandalorian a few of those episodes. We didn't even give all the episodes of The Mandalorian 5-star, by the way.
There were only 3 or 4.
3 or 4 of them, and there was only maybe a couple, 2 movies that got 2 or 3 movies out of the whole year
Whole
got.
year, yeah.
So we didn't give more than 5 or 6 5-stars last year. And if we say something is 3 stars or below, then you don't have to go, or we don't recommend streaming it. It means it's not even worth our time
That's
if it's 3 stars or below.
We only had a few of those last year.
I don't
so.
think I gave anything 3 stars.
Yeah, we did. We gave 2 of them.
Oh, we did?
Sure.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, Captain Rickster.
2 sleepers.
Oh, yes, we did.
Right in a
I
row.
remember. The Ad Astra.
And
Yep.
Astra and Lucy in the Sky.
Yep. Those were not worth
No,
seeing.
Not worth seeing.
Okay, so you're correct, man. Your memory's better than you think it is, Captain Rickster.
What?
Are we changing places? I'm starting to not have a memory, and you're starting to have a memory. What's going?
I'm starting to wonder here. It's getting a little weird. I don't know about this. You know? Maybe I'm slapping that bald head of yours too much. You know? I mean, geez.
You wish you could slap this bald head. If you slap this bald head, I'd knock you out, buddy.
I'm trying to put a hair back on your head. What are you talking about there?
Is that what you're trying to do?
Yep, I'm trying to do that. You know? Instead of massaging that thing, I'm trying to slap it back in there.
I don't think that's gonna work, buddy.
Well, you never know.
First, you got to get some hair in your head too, because you're going bald.
Well, I'm working on it. You know, I mean, you can slap me around
I
so
just
much,
don't
so
care. I don't care. I just shave it all off. I don't care. Anyway, so let's go ahead and. Oh, got me again, Captain Rickster. Let's go ahead.
I like when I get you going. You know, man, you really know how to get it.
It's real. I'm an easy target, though.
Oh, very easy.
Okay, so let's give the rating.
Yes.
Episode 1, Remembrances, Picard. Star Trek Picard gets, ready?
Yep.
4.5 stars from me.
I'll do the same. It's actually really good. And, you know, we're starting off month of February on key.
Captain Rickster, stop copying me, you little butthole. Oh, wait a minute. It's a kid's show.
With the kids show. Watch it.
Okay, guys.
And you know, get fired up with a toothbrush and clean your mouth out there, buddy.
Well, you know, going back to YouTube Live, Dante says you just have long memory. Long-term memory.
Yeah, the short-term memory is already gone.
Yeah, and there's someone at my door, but I'm not going to answer the door when I'm in the middle of a live podcast.
That's definitely true.
But Virginia's online. Hey, Virginia. Hey, love you too, guys.
Yes, we love you, Virginia.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about. Okay, so 4.5 stars for episode 1. Let's go ahead and talk about episode 2 and give the rating for that.
Right.
We're going to do this on both of them before we get into a breakdown and spoilers. Okay, episode 2 is called Maps and Legends.
Yes.
And one of the things I liked about episode 1 was having Data back.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
We saw him back.
I'm not giving a spoiler away, but everybody's seen the trailer. So,
right.
Okay, so let's give, you know what? The episode 2 was still a very good episode, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I felt that it was one of those things like those in-between episodes where they're just trying to help move the story along, like a transitional or expositional type of thing. It almost wasn't necessary, but it was good. It was still good. It had a few moments I liked in it.
Yeah.
I would give episode 2 4.25 stars. It's not quite as good as the first one,
right?
But it's still a solid show.
Well, mine would be the music for for the whole TV show.
I don't
Because-
like the new
I
theme
don't
though.
like the new theme either. I think you could do a better job making a new theme on that one. So I'm going to agree with him too. 4.25 stars on this one also, because
But the music is good, though.
Is music. It's just like it want to put you to sleep.
You thought so?
Oh yeah, and that it did. You? I mean, I watched you. Go
No.
sleep.
That was because I was tired. Didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with that, and I had already seen it.
Yeah, here you
So was my second time viewing it.
with his
Okay,
eyelids, with his eyelids closed.
not the first time. So it actually had an interest. It had a lot of information. Oh, it was almost information overload in the second episode, and that might be
Right.
why it didn't have as much action. The first one had a lot more action with Dodge and. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start talking. Let's go. We're gonna start a discussion about this. So spoilers ahead, everybody. If you haven't
That's
seen any of
right.
these, then come back and look at these later. Okay. The reason. So now we're going to do spoilers. The reason why Captain Rick's just saying what he's saying is because the second episode was more talky and didn't have as much action. The first episode had Dodge and had the Romulans
right.
and had a few more locations as well.
Yep.
So it had a lot more going on with it. So in episode 1, it starts off with you see Picard with Data, and they're playing a card game.
That's right.
And it goes up into the ship, and you see the Enterprise D, and they're having a card game, and there's some really great acting, and Captain Picard even tells him to Data very emotionally.
Yes.
It actually, I almost started to tear up at that point because he was saying he didn't want the game to end.
That's true.
And that was a great moment. And then he looks outside the window, he sees Mars, and explosions start going off, and he goes, "What are we doing on Mars?" And then he wakes up, and he's at Chateau Picard.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the morning, and he was having a dream, and he goes and opens it up, and Chateau Picard, of course, looks like Santa Barbara.
That's definitely true.
And but it's beautiful, it's glorious, and he is with he has some handlers. They're Laris and Zaban.
Right.
I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, so
That's close enough.
let me know. And his handlers, he's talking with them, and they're talking about how it's today, the day that morning was first, was the remembrance of the time, what happened on Mars, where you find out why he was having a dream. So he's
Right.
today is a remembrance day of when the synthetics attacked Mars and basically not only destroyed the Utopia Planitia shipyards, but set the whole Mars is still on fire today because of it. It's still,
Right.
nobody could live there. So, and synthetics are androids like Data.
Right.
So not necessarily Data, but
No.
so he's having an interview with a reporter.
Right.
At the FNN network instead of CNN, it's FNN.
Right. Yes.
And he's talking with his Romulan caretakers, who I guess are his caretakers is a better word, not handlers, because they help him.
Right.
And he's saying, "Did you go over all the questions? They're not gonna bring up the fact that I resigned from Starfleet." And apparently, Jean-Luc Picard resigned from Starfleet.
Yes,
he
did.
went off in a huff. And what had happened was, and this is in books and in parts of the Star Trek timeline, when the Romulans' planet went supernova,
Right.
they had to, they lost their planet, Romulus. So he was leading a mission with 10,000 ships to evacuate 900, almost 1 billion people.
Yeah.
And he thought, and the lady said, "Well, the Romulans were our enemies," and she's arguing back with him during this interview, and he's saying, "But they're people,
Yeah. They're just people like us.
right?"
Yeah.
So, and he just got a lot of flack from that, and then it ended up coming. The question that he didn't want to ask was, why did he resign? And he said because Starfleet had become not Starfleet anymore.
That's right. Yes.
They weren't looking out for people.
No.
They were looking out for their best self-interest and,
That's
stuff.
definitely true.
So he resigned. as an and he was an admiral. He wasn't Jean. He wasn't captain any longer.
No.
He was actually an admiral, which
yeah.
was great. So, so he got upset during that interview, and also then now we also during this time period we go to Boston in the future, and Boston looks great.
Oh yes,
great, and we meet Daj, and Daj is we don't know this at first, but we find out that she is a synthetic.
Right.
But at the beginning, she's there with her boyfriend, and they're talking about how they both got accepted into the colleges she wants. She got accepted into the Daystrom Institute in Okinawa, which is she's excited about that. And as they're having this nice little evening and a drink, suddenly out of nowhere, these attackers appear as assassins, and immediately one of them throws a knife into the heart of her boyfriend, killing him instantly, which is ay. And they grab her, they pin her down, they put this device over her head, and they're talking about how, did she activate yet? And no, she hasn't activated yet. And then they try to put something else, a mask over. No, it's not a mask, but a hood over her head.
Right.
And she ends up activating and becomes this like
assassin, basically.
It flips. Instead of them being the assassins, it flips the role, and she just beats. She kills them like in a minute.
Yeah, she kills all of them.
Yeah, she gets them good.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It was then she runs back over to her boyfriend, and there's nothing she could do. It's already dead, and a lot of blood all over the place. So she just ran.
Yeah, that's right. There was a lot of blood, and she ran. And before she left, she saw Jean-Luc Picard, a vision of his face pop up.
That's right.
So, and going back to YouTube Live, checking the comments. Hey, Virginia, you cut your hand. I hope you're all right.
Yeah,
Take care of that.
Yes.
So, right as he's taught, whereas we're talking about a knife, you're cutting yourself.
Yeah.
And he's talking about blood. I hope you don't have too much blood.
Right.
Yeah. So take care of yourself. This podcast could wait. You could watch the repeat even.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So anyway, so what happens is that later you see Daj walking down the rainy street too, and it's raining, and she's in Boston, and she sees that interview we were just talking about,
right?
And so now she knows who he is. That image in her face, she knows it's Jean-Luc Picard. So she travels to Paris to see him,
right?
And she explains to him about how she doesn't know how she knows him, but she just knows that she feels safe with him.
Yeah,
she feels comfortable. So Picard arranges for her to stay overnight, and they'll talk about it in the morning. But in the next morning, she's disappeared. So Picard wants to get to the bottom of this. So he actually travels to Starfleet headquarters, and he goes into the archives, and he's looking in the archives, and he finds a painting that Commander Data did. And guess who's in the painting?
Well, he gave it.
Sees it.
Oh. Yes, but you gotta remember, he gave it to Picard as a retirement.
10 years prior to that.
Yeah.
No, 14 years prior to that.
Yes.
And apparently, Data. He also referenced that Data died when he saving Picard.
Right.
Somehow.
Did, yes.
So we don't know too much about that. That might come up for further future episodes about how Data passed away.
Right.
So. And he finds the painting, and so Picard's very curious about that. So how can Data do this painting of Daj a long time ago? And he's talking to this index, which is a hologram. It's just called the Index, who thinks they want to do comedy like Captain Rickster and I.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
So, I hope you feel better, Virginia.
I do too.
Okay. I see. You'll be okay, though. You scared me for a second.
Just don't bend your thumb if it hurts like that.
Yeah.
Make sure you bandage it up real good.
Yeah. So, anyway, so he's talking to the Index, this hologram, and he's trying to get information about this painting. And she says there's only two of them, and
Right.
He has one copy hanging on the wall at home, and we saw the copy at home. It didn't show her face,
No, it didn't.
but this has the face. And so he says, "What's the name?" And it's in the face on this one is the face of Dodge.
Right.
So it's a face of Dodge. How did he know to draw her? So he asks her, "What's the name of this painting?" And the name of the painting is Daughter.
Yes, daughter.
What the heck?
Yeah, that is something. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that's very solid, even in this episode, and we'll get into when we get into episode 2, is the writing is very good. There's
Yes, it
twists
is.
and turns and plots already
Mhm.
in the very beginning. So it's a very solid show so far.
Yep.
Let's hope that they bring the action up more in episode 3.
Right.
So, and we'll see this Thursday. So now Captain Picard's figured this out, and he's leaving Starfleet. And guess who runs into him outside? And the reason why she Dodge,
Yes, Dodge.
and who disappeared. And the reason why she runs into him is she tries to contact her mother, and her mother's. You can tell her mother knows that. Go to Picard.
Right.
Stuff is about to hit the fan.
Yeah,
It's
and
going
it
to say
did.
the bad word.
And
but-
it did.
And it did. So as Picard's coming out of the archives, they run into each other. They start talking. He starts telling the story, and then guess what happens? The assassins, a new set of assassins appear again.
Yes.
And as she's fighting them off, one of them, their mask falls off, and you see it's a Romulan.
Yes.
And he spits on her, and she grabs his. And so because Romulan, they have acid blood, she's like, it's hurting her and burning her skin, but she grabs his weapon, and apparently these Romulan weapons that have some sort of a DNA thing,
Right.
so they know it's not the owner. So it's the weapon self-destructs
Yes.
and blows up, and it's like, wow, this is a brand new character, and she just blew up in front of us. What the heck's going on?
Yep. And blew him backwards.
And blew him backwards, and then we go back to him, and he's woken up in his study again on Chateau Picard, and with Laris, not Lazarus, that's someone else.
Yes.
Laris and Zaban, and they're talking, and they tell him, "Oh, you really hit your head hard. You fell and hit your head on, you cracked your noggin." So
Yes.
He's saying, "What are you talking about? There was a big explosion. It was more than just that." And he finds out that all the footage of the Romulans and Dodge have been erased.
That's
Apparently,
right.
they erased it, or
Erased
something
it.
happened, or she somehow had some sort of technology to erase it.
Right.
So Picard's still trying to figure stuff out. So he goes back. He decides to go to the Daystrom Institute, where all the datas and all the synthetics were being made at the time before this calamity happened, and they put a moratorium and banned synthetics from the Federation and the everywhere. So
Right.
And he goes, and we get to meet Alison Pill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a
Yes.
great actress she is!
Oh yes.
Yes. So we finally we're introduced to Alison Pill, and she's talking about Dr. Bruce Maddox, who she worked with.
Right.
And she's telling them the story about how no one was ever like Data. They could never replicate
Data.
synthetics that would be like Data. So what Dr. Maddox was doing was something new and revolutionary. And he was trying to take a part of Data and create more, almost like a clone, but not cloning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then after all that stuff happened on Mars 14 years prior ago, he just disappeared. And while they're talking, it comes up from Doctor, and her character's name is Dr. Girardi, by the way.
Right.
And as they're talking, Dr. Girardi mentions that there's always a pair.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a twin.
Yep.
And that kind of like, what the heck? So yeah, when they make and it makes sense because remember Data had Lore.
Yeah, Laura's.
Remember he had a brother.
Yeah, brother, twin.
So I guess that's the thing to do.
Right.
So I guess so she mentions that Dodge has a twin, and we end up going and we go see that twin, and that twin is Soshi.
Mm-hmm.
and she is on this Borg cube, which is like some sort of research station. And we see her talking to Narek, and Narek is another Romulan.
Yep.
And you can see they kind of have some sort of chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
which seems kind of cool. And then it comes out and the episode ends.
That's right. Yeah. At that point.
And it's a great episode, and there's a lot of action.
Yes, there was.
And then there's this great trailer brand new trailer right after that, where they show what's going to happen
yes.
on the rest of the season. And
future episodes.
And that's it in a nutshell for episode 1 of Picard. And then when episode 2 starts, it's called Maps and Legends. Picard is with his handlers again, his Romulan handlers, and he's trying to figure out what the heck happened to Daj.
Yeah,
he's trying to investigate it further. So that episode starts off with them doing that. So in episode 2 is there's a lot of plot twists. There's a lot of turns. It's like and when we discuss it right now, you're going to agree with me. So episode 2, Maps and Legends, starts off. It kind of has a prologue, and it goes back 14 years. Right. And the stuff that they were talking about on the Mars colony, in the first episode, we get to see it.
Yes.
That part I liked about it, because it had some action.
It was good.
So it goes back to Utopia Planitia shipyards, and we see this gentleman open up this thing, and you see all these synthetics, which he says to them, "You ready to go to work, plastic men?"
Yeah, I know. It was funny.
It was kind of funny, but it was kind of racist.
Very
and the reason why it was racist, it was funny then, but later when he's working, we get introduced to F8, and they don't even give the guy a name like Data or Lore. They just call him F8.
Yeah.
Like Daj and Sochi have a name. So F8, we go back to them, and one of the co-workers there is making fun of him, and the other one says, "Don't do that. He could hear you."
That's right.
Because he's bionic hearing. He doesn't seem to be upset about it at all, but suddenly you see like his eyes, it goes to his eyes, and it kind of like he's got a signal or something happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of, except for this being a signal, remember when Palpatine said, "Execute Order 66." Remember that? So,
yes, I do.
So that sets F8 off and to setting it up and doing his thing to destroy and attack. The attack is on.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So, and then you see, him doing that there with his people. Then you see later ships and other, other synthetics, messing it up. So then it comes back
to him.
It comes back to where we're at now. And Picard just really he's trying to find out what the mystery of Daj is, and what her existence means. The Federation, after all this other stuff happened, he quit the Federation over all this stuff.
Yes, he did.
And with the stuff that happened with the Romulans. And when we go back to Picard and they're discussing this and trying to find out what's going on with Daj, his Romulan handlers, Laris, tells Picard, she just says point blank, "Have you ever noticed that in the Romulan culture, there's a complete absence of artificial life in the Romulan culture? They don't produce any. They loathe synthetics. The Romulans hate synthetics. So the clues are and the pictures are starting to become clear to Picard." Because of why the Romulans attack Daj is because they really hate synthetics.
That's right.
And she talks about a secret organization that's more secret than the Tal Shiar, and we thought that, and we all know about the Tal Shiar,
right?
And she said that this organization, the Zhat Vash, is so secret. It's so secret that the revelation and talking about it to other Romulans, it's so frightening that it melts their minds. It breaks their minds. Some people.
Oh yes.
I go, what the heck?
I know.
How can that? How
can that happen?
Yeah.
Just for telling by somebody a little secret.
And then when they're talking about that, we go back into space. We're back at the Borg cube. We go back to see, and we see Narek and Sochi, and they're kind of enjoying this. They're having this kind of pillow talk moment. And as they're talking, Narek finds it. He's kind of surprised that Sochi finds the Borg cube beautiful.
Yes.
But she corrects him by saying it's an artifact.
Yes.
So she's setting it up that that what they're there for, basically, and that's because they're there to collect artifacts, and it's kind of like it would be like discovering the pyramids.
Yeah, basically.
Would that be a good example? Like the pyramids here, they're there doing research. I guess this Borg ship is an old one.
Mm-hmm.
It's severed, it's broken. It's not part of the collective anymore.
Nope.
Narek takes the time, of course, to tease her.
Yeah.
And tells her, about being, subversive, and he confesses that, like most Romulans, he's just a very private person now.
Right.
And it's clear from their talk that what the Romulans are doing is they're looking to extract intel from these artifacts and the Borg inhabitants before that. And it also is very clear that Narek isn't who he claims to be.
That's very true.
In this. So after that, we go back to the French vineyard, Chateau Picard.
Mm-hmm.
And he's visited by Dr. Moritz Benayoun,
right,
who's played by David Paymer, an old character actor. You recognize him immediately.
Yeah.
And we find out that they reference that they had all these earlier adventures together.
Yeah.
Guess where? On the Stargazer, on Picard's first ship. But the doctor has a bad report on the medical front. I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in The Next Generation, they talked about how in the future Picard might have these problems with health issues.
Right.
And he had a certain chance to go this way or that way. Well, time is happening with Picard. And eventually the prognosis is it's going to kill him, but we don't know when, we don't know which way. And given that bombshell and hearing the bad news, Picard still is trying to, the reason why that doctor's there is he's trying to seek clearance so that he could do one more mission. He's going to go and he does that. He wants to do one more mission to find out what's going on here with these Romulans, with Sochi, with Daj. He's trying to figure out, also the synthetics. Why are these synthetics here? What happened with Bruce Maddox? So he wants to do one more mission and figure out all that's been happening. And the doctor says to him, because he wants to do one more mission. He says, "Do you really want to go back out into the cold?
Oh yeah,
into space, knowing that you're sick?" And of course, Picard resolutely responds in the typical Picard way, says, "More than ever."
Yeah.
Knowing.
Then I'm sick.
Yep. So after that, Picard beams to Starfleet, where he meets with Admiral Clancy, Admiral Clancy is played by Anne Magnuson, and he tells her everything that's taken place involving Daj, Data, Maddox, the Romulans. He goes over everything with her, and he asks the Admiral about, being temporarily reinstated in Starfleet for this one with a light crew, one last mission. But as you could expect, that request didn't go too well because she saw the TV interview.
Yep. She did.
Where he criticizes the Federations and synthetics, and that she just
tore. He just tore them up.
That's right.
That was for sure. And she was not happy about that, and they had a little argument of what's going on and stuff like that, and that's why he got denied.
Well, I mean, can you blame her? He is Jean-Luc Picard, but come on, guys. I mean, he really, what are you going to do?
Well, they had a past already between the two.
That's true.
So
they did.
Yep.
But Picard defends himself by, stating, of course, the Federation can't decide which species live or die. And he's right about that as well. But
That's true.
of course, Admiral Clancy's countering with them, saying that's precisely its role, in her opinion, and that it had to sacrifice the Romulan refugees.
Yep.
In order to keep the Federation intact. So
That's right.
But at the end, Picard warns Clancy about ignoring him.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true.
Of course, she sneers at him and tells him he should just go home. We all know that's not going to happen with Picard.
That's definitely true.
So then we end up going back to the Borg cube, and you see Sochi with some of the new recruits. We meet a new recruit,
Right.
a Dr. Nashala, but the actress playing that part is Chelsea Harris,
Mm-hmm.
and she's at the Borg Artifact Research Institute. And Nashala asks Narek if the Borg Collective might decide to reconnect the cube, of course, and Narek assures her that, it's not going to happen because as far as the Borg is concerned, they abandoned this vessel a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically akin to a graveyard populated by only those who feed on the dead,
That's
ghosts
right.
and individuals. And unlike Sochi, we are not hoping for a resurrection.
Yeah, that's definitely
Messes there.
true.
But at that point, then Narek decides to accompany Sochi to work. And you see Sochi doing her work. Actually, she's in a lab, and she's surgically taken off parts of some of the dead Borg.
Right.
And one of the other Romulan surgeons looks at the Borg and calls it the Nameless, which was kind of crude.
True. And though, he had a heartbeat still too.
Yeah.
And she told him you're okay.
And of course that upsets Sochi. She seems to have a heart.
Yep, she's got a heart.
And she looks at she gazes at the corpse and ignores the Romulan and says to the corpse, "You are now free, my friend."
That's right.
So we see that Sochi has a kind of a nice heart.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we jump back to the Chateau Picard, and we find that Dr. Girardi from the Daystrom Institute is there.
Right.
In his study, and she's holding a classic book, an Isaac Asimov book.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard remarks that says to the doctor, so you have a taste for the classics, which is kind of a neat line. And but Picard confesses, wink wink, that Picard has never liked science fiction.
That's true. And what's he doing in a science fiction TV show? Really?
Yeah, so he says he just doesn't get science fiction.
That's true. And now he played an admiral in a TV show that's all completely science fiction.
Yeah, he doesn't get science fiction over his Earl Grey tea. So
that's true.
So anyway, so that was a little bit of funny back and forth, and they have a nice little scene.
British actors, I swear, I don't know.
After that, it was kind of interesting. It was kind of cute that they did that.
Yeah,
though.
it was, yes.
Yeah. So we go back to seeing Admiral Clancy, and she's reporting her meeting that she had with Picard to the Commodore,
right?
The Starfleet Commodore, Commodore O, who's played by Tamlin Tamita, and she's a Vulcan. And
she's a Vulcan.
You look at her, you could tell she's a Vulcan. Look at her, this character, and you could tell the differences between her and the Romulans. It's in the ears look the same, but they actually are different,
right?
And that's what I was talking about earlier. So, and of course, the Commodore, who has an ego, says, if the Romulans were there on Earth, she would know it, and it would be an act of war if they were there. And so that meeting ends, and then the Commodore is upset, so she calls Lieutenant Rizzo, who's played by Peyton List, by the way, and she calls Lieutenant Rizzo into her office and shows her the video, and she shows her it, and she says, "Can you see in the reflection? You could actually see gunfire." And she's talking about why wasn't it erased properly. So guess what? Oh, guess who the mastermind was behind that attack? It wasn't the Romulans after all.
No.
It was them. It was the Commodore and Lieutenant Rizzo of Starfleet. So Starfleet is behind it. And Rizzo's team is behind killing Dodge. That's
right.
it. And the original plan was not to kill Dodge. They just wanted to get her to interrogate her.
That's it.
And the Commodore tells Rizzo, you have one more opportunity because she knows about Soshi, the twin.
The twin, yes.
So she tells her, instead of messing around, I need you to go and take care of it in person. And she says, nah, I got the right person on the job. We find out she says that because that's her brother.
Yeah, it's her brother.
And she's in disguise. She's really a Romulan. I don't know if Commander O knows that, by the way. That's going to come out here too. But she's
soon.
So
I think Commander O's in cahoots with those Romulans.
yeah.
I think she knows more than what she thinks she does, because she's not saying much in this last episode.
I don't know. I think it was all a setup. I don't think the Romulans have much to do with it, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. We will see for sure.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next episode.
So after all that happens, and the interesting twat, I said.
Yes, the twat. Yeah, okay.
Are you a twat?
Now we know what you're thinking. Oh, Lord.
Okay, guys.
You're hurting my ears.
The interesting plot.
Plot, yes.
And I have to edit that out of the podcast.
Yes.
The interesting twist was that the Federation's behind it.
Of course.
Okay, so after that, Picard decides, because he doesn't have the help of the Federation for this one last mission, he makes a call to an old comrade and friend named Rafi. Can't pronounce his name. Musker. But that's played by Michelle Hurd. That's
right.
Michelle Hurd's character, Rafi. Let's call it Rafi. So he makes an old call to his friend Rafi, asking for help in a ship. And he ends up telling his handlers that Laris and Zaban that he did that. And they think he's lost his mind and he shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
But
that's definitely true.
then we end up going to seeing him on another planet. And we see the very famous scene, the Vasquez Rocks.
Right.
Out in Aqua Dulce, we see the very famous Vasquez Rocks. We've seen it in a lot of Star Trek stuff.
That's right.
That's the planet that Michelle Hurd, Rafi, his old friend, is on. So we see him get off a space taxi.
Yes.
And, of course, she has the gun pointed at him and says, get back on that taxi. And she doesn't want to have anything to do. She doesn't want to help Picard, anything. But then he mentions that the Romulans are involved.
Yes.
And that gets her.
She hates the Romulans.
And not only that, but he's holding a bottle of the 86
Yes.
Picard wine.
The one that she loves the most.
Yeah. So.
And now they're going to go get drunk.
Yep. So, I mean, again, lots of plot twists, a lot of twists and turns, and I'm not going to say that word again, so don't worry, Captain Rickster.
Well, yeah, we know your mind's at.
Well, I can't help it. It was my birthday, right?
Guys, keep it out together.
Okay. Okay, guys. Anyway, so that's that's the final outcome of episode 2. It leaves with the Rafi, his friend, inviting him in. So they haven't really jumped. She hasn't said yes yet. They're going to probably discuss it in the beginning of the next episode.
They showed the trailer for the next episode. It actually looks pretty good.
And again, at the end of this, they show what's coming up this season, and it just looks better and better, guys. So I'm excited about.
Yeah,
I'm excited about Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
I want to see Star Trek Discovery because the last season was great.
Yes, it was.
It was much better than the first season.
Right.
The last season of Star Trek Discovery was right on, way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, watch Star Trek Picard. It's streaming on CBS All Access every Thursday. A new episode comes out, and we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about the Clone Wars.
Yes.
And we're also going to be doing some other movie reviews coming up here. So we got a lot on our plate this year. So make sure you guys keep coming back. If this is the first time watching our live YouTube podcast, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well so that you know when we go live for our live trivia game where you get a free gift every week at Disneyland as well. That's every Saturday. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Again, remember this week, we always say this, and I learned this from my dad. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate you. Do something nice for someone this week.
That's true.
Whether it be, we give crude examples like mowing someone's lawn or carrying someone's groceries, or it's whatever it is, do something nice. Do an act of kindness.
That's definitely true.
Let's take care of each other, and we can't wait to see you guys on the live podcast next Saturday at 3 p.m. We'll be discussing more Star Trek and other things. We'll also be live next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 Pacific time, 1 to 3 Eastern, and 12 to 2 Central for the All for Sci-Fi live trivia game from Galaxy's Edge, where all you have to do is watch the live stream, listen to the trivia. So you listen for clues, and at the end of the contest, we're going to ask one question. You have a chance to win a free gift. That will be on week 5 then. But
Right.
I'm Eric Walker for All for Sci-Fi.
And I'm Captain Rickster, so have a great weekend and a great week. Try to stay out of trouble.
That's true.
Yeah, and like we said, do something good for somebody.
That's right. And remember, may the force be with you, but also live long and prosper, like they say. Did I do that right? Live long and prosper.
Yeah, now you did it right.
There you go. Live long and prosper, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't